meeting, August the 4th, 2025. Commissioner Mason will lead us in the pledge, and Commissioner Collins will say a blessing for us. If you would, please stand.
Attention, salute, pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
All right, thank you very much. Real quick, some housekeeping things on the agenda, which we'll get to here in a second. I do need to add one thing. Mayor, you're going to have one come from you, I guess, but the opioid timeline, we just need to chat about that and see what we want to do, what this committee recommends on that. Here, usually it's about this time of year, get everything ready before the end of the year so everybody knows what we're doing. And then the mayor's going to have something. So Mayor, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning still, I guess. A couple of things for you. First of all, your credit card report. Fire department used once, all good. Assessor 3 times, all good. Sheriff 4 times, all good. The mayor 1 time, all good. EMA 3 times, all good. Juvenile 7 times. They were missing 1 receipt, but the pump wouldn't give them a receipt. And anyway, other than that, all good. And EMS 3 times. They did use it locally 1 time because they would not take a check. So other than that, everything is fine with the credit card report. The thing I have for you today is you're aware the county has received an audit finding 2 years in a row now, the last 2 years, due to liability accounts having material balances in them. Susan especially, all of them, but Susan especially has been working on this for the last few months to try to get it reconciled down to practically nothing, hopefully. In order to avoid the finding in 25, they are now consistently reconciling the accounts monthly. We've been doing that for probably the last year or so, but there's been a dangling balance out there that Susan's been working on to try to get rid of it. We've also been asked by audit to clear this balance that has been sitting in the liability accounts for really many years now. There's always a small balance there, but for many years now it's accumulated up somewhat. They've been working extremely hard and have cleared a large amount of these numbers. However, since it was so many years ago, we haven't determined the cause of every single dollar there that is left. So we're asking for permission today to close $47,234 to the fund balance. We're also asking for your permission to post the entries as of June the 30th of 25 before the year end is completed. Caleb is working on the year end as we speak, and hopefully it'll be completed in the next week or so. That will provide a clean slate not only for the finance office but for auditors as well. We believe that that will greatly help in successfully moving forward, starting out July the 1st with a 0. So therefore, staff is recommending that the commission approve to close $47,234 to the fund balance and post the entries as of June the 30th of 25. Respectfully ask for your consideration and your approval of this.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll get a motion again in a second. We'll get into discussion. Commissioner Collins?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion to authorize the reconciliation of the liability accounts and closing $47,234.21 from the county liability account to the county fund balance as of June 30th, 2025.
We have a motion from Commissioner Collins to make the necessary adjustment. We have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Commissioner Alford, Commissioner Mason, Cindy's not here, or Commissioner Slater's not here. No discussions on this. Commissioner Alford, please.
Susan may want to add in, but it's basically a bookkeeping procedure that will clear the books. And is there a term I should be using there?
Uh,
By it being a number that's bigger than $1 or $2, they just want it to be approved by the commission before we do it. But it's reconciling to a zero balance as of July the 1st in these liability accounts. Keep in mind, liability accounts are where we collect money from employees from time to time, pay out the insurance benefits and things like that. It's a fluid account that always has money coming in and going out. Over the years, it has built up somewhat, and she's been unable to get it to a zero. And in talking to the auditors, they said, well, just clear the account, but we want you to get approval of the commission so that it's in the minutes that you've been approved to do that. That somewhat answer you? And Susan, if you want to join in,
if you,
not being an accountant, I may not have used all the right terms, but did that somewhat?
so if you'll come up so we can hear you. Thank you.
Sorry, Susan.
So Commissioner, Sicily, what exactly is your question? I just want to.
So basically, what you're saying, that 47,000 is gonna come out of our fund balance to balance the area that you're talking about. So in the future, Caleb, y'all know that you should be doing this every year, per se? So we've got that on our agenda to make sure that happens every year then. Okay.
Yeah. And,
Thank
and technically, they're doing it monthly now,
Monthly,
and then June
okay.
the 30th, hopefully, yes.
Okay.
But they,
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Susan, and thank you for all the work. I know we're going back to 2021, 2022, I believe, so to clean things up. So Susan, thank you very much for all that tedious work, I know, but the auditors, you know how they are. We'll leave that alone. All right, so we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussions on this motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Passes 4-0 with one absent. Anything else, Mayor?
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And everything else I have, I believe, is on your packet agenda.
Very
Thank you.
good. All right. Also, I want to welcome Commissioner Gilbert here to the Finance Committee. Good to see you, sir. Then we'll go to our budget amendments. The first budget up is from the Finance Department. Oh, it's a Finance Amendment. And they are decreasing revenue of $57,201, and they are increasing expenses in the account 51240, and the itemized the lines is basically an annual move of money to pay the bill, so to speak. It's coming from the archive reserve account. Yeah, I'll get a motion again in a second. And Caleb, I do have one question for you. We have a motion from Commissioner Collins. I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Caleb, the balance here, when we were looking at it, and I know, like the Mayor just said, we looked at the account analysis the other day. After this 57,201 comes off of the reserve account, the balance that I guess you have here of 220,000, but of the account analysis is like 500,000. I was just wondering if there's
several different things that get paid out of that reserve line. So like off the top of my head, I don't know, but I think the sheriff might have some stuff gets paid out of that reserve line,
okay.
and that's where the extra money comes in. It's divvied up between.
Oh, I see.
Several
I see.
different
So
things.
you basically have some sub accounts going on, and some of it's for the sheriff, some of it's for the archive and all that. Okay, because the account analysis, I guess, looks at it at an abstract
It's
level.
the whole thing.
Gotcha. All right. Any further discussions, Mayor?
If I could add too, just to make sure you understand what we started doing 2 or 3 years ago,
Yeah.
rather than paying for archives with true tax money, we don't budget it. When you approve the budget, the archives budget is not in there. And now we pull it out of reserve, which is another fee that you collect for archives. And we take that reserve money to fund the archives budget. So you're actually now approving their budget for this current year. It wasn't part of the budget you approved back on June the 30th. See what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So the budget is totally paid for out of archives fees.
Yeah. Was it that $5 archive fee that's added to each case right there? All right. I have a motion and I have a second. Any further discussion on this motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 4-0 with one absent. Moving on to the next budget amendment. This is also from Finance. We're decreasing the fund balance of $14,613.80, and we're increasing. Keep in mind, this is Fund 128, so this is the ARP money. And this is, if I remember correctly, we looked at this last Thursday. Oh, this is roads. You're adding a new PO because they chose a new vendor. I assume this is the striping or whatever.
Yeah, it's the striping.
Striping. So they got a new vendor, so that requires a new PO. Very good. All right, so do I have a motion to accept the amendment? I have a motion from Commissioner Mason. I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Moving on from next budget is from Juvenile Court. They are increasing their revenue by $3,150 and an increase in their expenses. This is a grant. This is what Lori was referring to as the supporting documentation, because they didn't have anything on the for the $3,150 on increase in the revenue. But the state will reimburse, and that grant is pretty much in black and white right there. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Mason. I have a second from Commissioner Collins. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 4-0 with one absent. Moving on to the next budget amendment is from EMS. They're decreasing their expenses on one line, and they're staying in the same account, 55130, and going to another line. They're increasing 335, so they're basically going from maintenance and repair to maintenance and repair building, $20,000. I have a motion to accept the amendment. I have a motion from Commissioner Mason. I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 4-0 with one absent. Moving on to the next budget amendment, sticking with EMS, decreasing expenses and increasing expenses, again staying in the same one for a whole whopping $100. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Alford. I have a second from Commissioner Collins. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 4-0 with one absent. Next budget amendments from Beverly County Sheriff's Office, decrease in reserve. Where did we look at this one, Lori? Oh, yeah. Decrease in reserve restricted for administrative of justice. That's not exactly what I always call it. 5,000, and she's putting it in there. This is for that security glass, plexiglass, whatever. Anyway, do I have a motion to accept the budget amendment? I have a motion from Commissioner Mason. I have a second from Commissioner Collins. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 4-0 with one absent. Sticking with the Bradley County Sheriff's Office, she is increasing her revenue of $6,000, increasing her expenses of the same amount. And this is a retention grant that the state is offering to certain law enforcement deputies. This is a payment of several. Yeah, I remember this. I have a motion to accept the amendment. I have a motion from Commissioner Mason. I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Those say no. Passes 4-0 with one absent. Moving on to the next budget amendment, there you see the supporting documentation and the check. Bradley County Sheriff's Office decreasing the fund balance of $500, increasing the expenses. This is money that I believe that came in the last budget, and now they just got to pull it out, so the money was already there. So this is just an accounting thing, really. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Alford. I have a second from Commissioner Collins. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 4-0 with one absent. Moving on to the next budget amendment. There you see the check. Bradley County Sheriff's Office decreasing the fund balance and increasing the expenses of $500. This is also a donation for their cookout. How about that? If we get an invite. I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented from Commissioner Mason. Have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 4-0 and one absent. There's the check. Next one, also sticking with Bradley County Sheriff's Office, decreasing the fund balance of $1,000 and increasing expenses of the same amount. Again, this is money that came in from last year. They're just pulling it out. I have a motion to accept the amendment from Commissioner Mason. I have a second from Commissioner Collins. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 4-0 with one absent. There you see the check from Food City. All right. Bradley County Sheriff's Office decreasing the fund balance of $14,693 and increasing in data processing of the same amount. This is the Jagger grant. I believe this comes over from the city. This is an annual one. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment? I have a motion from Commissioner Alford. I have a second from Commissioner Collins. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 4-0-1. And there's your supporting documentation. Check from the city of Cleveland. We got to cash that real quick. All right, there we go. Bradley County Sheriff's Office, decreasing the fund balance of $2,000. Glasses aren't what they used to be. $2,280 and increasing motor vehicles of the same amount. This is one of the vehicles insurance balance. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment? I have a motion from Commissioner Alford. I have a second from Commissioner Mason. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 4-0 with one absent. Moving on to the next. There's your bill of explanation, your check from local government. Well, not local government, from the insurance company. And of course, she adds all of the documentation from the accident. Must have been a heck of an accident. We even have a map of the road.
Mylan, those last two are services rendered.
Oh, thank you, Caleb. The last two are not, it is the next two because we got the last one there. Oh, you've got a color picture. Wow. An incident detail report. All right. I was scrolling, so I lost my train of thought. We're on page 42.
Through
Do we-
45. They're both services rendered.
Services rendered, so we'll take them up together. All right. Do I have a motion to accept the next two budget amendments as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Mason. I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 4-0 with one absent. Then we get down to the last one here, and I am going to hand it over to the mayor. Wait, is it? No, you pulled that one, right?
No,
Is this the
I need you to pull it and bring it tonight if
Yeah,
it
yeah,
gets
yeah.
approved.
but
This is the budget resolution for this particular part of the budget, and in this copy, some numbers got anyway, they got switched around. So the copy that got signed and sent to the state said, hey, your numbers don't match your actual budget, and they were right, of course. So I'm asking you to reapprove this resolution, get it approved tonight so we can sign it and send a corrected copy to the state.
and that is on page, hold on a second,
46 through 51.
46 through 51.
And page
And
49 has the
it has the,
error.
yeah, we have it highlighted in yellow right there. And
Yeah,
that
the one-
basically,
happens to be in the school funds, but,
yeah, 115,657 feet. Yeah. So basically, a typo.
your budget is right. The resolution just had an error in the numbers that didn't match the budget.
Very good. Do we have a motion to accept the resolution, amendment is presented from Commissioner Collins? Have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Opposed say no. Passes 4-0 with one absent. That concludes the budget amendments. We'll go to the agenda. The first one is, the Building and Land Committee requested to fund the clearing, leveling, and paving of the Menace Road Fire Facility property with an estimate of $150,000. From what I gathered, I didn't get a chance to attend that committee meeting, but from what I gathered, there's a project that they need funding for, and asked the Finance Committee to take up where could we find the money to pay for it, if I understand correctly, what's the thing. So, Commissioner Collins, are you, Commissioner Alford, Commissioner May, who's all on building land up?
I'm on.
You're on building land?
I am.
If you want to chat about this? Mayor, you want to chat with us about this? Because I wasn't at the meeting.
This is the issue that's been discussed a lot, whether we take the remaining trees and bank out behind the fire hall and the new fire building on Menace Road. At their Building and Land Committee, they approved taking the remaining trees and bank down from the corner, the northern corner of the property, down to as far as the current project goes. Taking it all the way back to the property line is what they approved recommending and sending it to you to see if you could fund it. That sort of, that fairly accurately? Right. Well, we need to do something because we're holding everything up. The parking lot's held up and the city building project is held up. In your mind, if you can look at, they did change what he's referring to, is they did change and say, we just want to do it the length of the new project, which I think they said was, how many feet? They estimated it to be 200 feet long and 30 feet deep. So from corner to where the project stops is roughly 200 feet. And from where they stop now with the dirt back to the line is roughly 30 feet. So 200 feet by 300 by 30 feet. And yes, we had the estimates from two different people on the entire project. Now they're only asking for a portion of it. But it would be approximately half of the original is what you could look at. If you want to fund it, I would fund approximately half of that original amount. if you want to move forward with it. I'm not trying to get you to move forward with it. I'm just saying, it wouldn't be 150, it would be more like the 75. I don't wanna have to go back and get estimates a third time. They keep changing the parameters. But if you wanna do it and you fund, say, up to 75,000, that will approximately get it from the corner, the length of the current project. Does that make sense?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And my concern from, regarding this project, both as a member of Building and Lands and of this committee, and I'll ask is, and I think you've alluded to it each time you've spoken about this project, is has not been a request from either yourself or Chief Stewart, is that correct?
No, it's strictly coming from the committee. There's pros and cons on doing it. I mean, no, I have not requested, fire department hasn't requested it, but not to speak for the committee, but their thing is we need to go ahead and do it back to the property line now as opposed to we can't do it later or it would cost more later. So that's why they recommend doing it, but we've not requested it. I personally don't think it's the wisest use of tax money, but we're to the point where make a decision because we are holding up two projects. If you want to go ahead with it, we need to know that so we can, and then we can get back to the other two projects.
And I think that's kind of where I would stand, just to, express my viewpoint publicly. After speaking with Chief Stewart, I think $150,000 is a lot of money, and I think that's money that could be used probably a little more appropriately for that department. I think Chief Stewart would, and maybe the mayor would appreciate $150,000 more for, fire suits or, whatever it is that they can use. I think there's a different use for $150,000. That's a lot of money, especially when it's not coming from the leadership of that department or from the mayor. I feel comfortable after talking with Chief Stewart that this is not something he feels like is necessary, without putting words in his mouth. But I think he feels like what needs to get done in terms of that building can get done as is. Would that be a fair statement, Mayor?
Yes, and keep in mind, originally this came up because the bank isn't finished.
Yeah.
You're gonna go back and take a little more bank out and make it straight. It starts curving halfway through the project. They know that and they've agreed to do it, but they're just not doing anything until you all decide.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
In the future, Mayor, when they do to get their building built and everything, is it going to be a problem at a later date if we did decide to do something like this to be able to access that piece of property behind the fire hall, or would it be completely blocked out when we get through the two projects you're talking about?
Keep in mind, it's a 30-foot stretch of
I
property.
understand.
You could still get to it. You would have to do it be a lot harder because now you don't have the concrete pad there. Once they build the building and do the drive and stuff around it, you'll have a concrete pad that they'd have to be coming off. But it could still happen. I personally don't see it going to be needed in the future, but it could. I'm not, who knows? Their attitude was, we may need it down the road. Let's go ahead and do it now. I'm not saying it couldn't happen later, but it would be harder. The estimates might be higher because of the fact they've got to work around existing, especially if you went from corner to corner. Because when you go from corner to corner, the reason the building changed their request was you've got two different levels. You've got the level of the existing project that's going to be brought up sort of to the level of the property behind the fire station, and then the new parking lot that's ready to be concreted is a third level. So which level do you bring it down to? Do you bring it down to match the three levels? But if you were just doing it behind the building itself, you could get in there and do it, but it would be a little harder than it would now.
All right, so that's kind of, if there's committee, what's the pleasure of this committee to do anything, or what, we've been asked to basically come up with the funding but it sounds like we're also debating whether the necessity's there. So what do we want to do? Commissioner Alford, you got an idea?
Well, the
sure
motion
you
says
do.
for 150, although we're listening to the mayor, we're only talking about 75. But that's not what they came back with us for, that price. Because we don't have a price at 150, that's the whole thing. We don't have a price other than what mayor's estimating on the half thing. I just think we need to just make a motion to table this and for future reference.
Go ahead, please.
Mr. Chairman, if we table the motion, then does that stop you from moving forward, Mayor, with the project? Because I think that's where we're at. We can't move forward with this project
Oh.
until we've made a decision.
Tabling is a procedural issue. When you table something, you're done with this for a while.
table
You
it
had to bring you had to
indefinitely,
vote
it's
to bring it
tabled
back.
and
Yeah,
it
we-
sorta
The full
kills it.
commission has tabled a couple of things, as you'll remember. You have to bring it back whenever you're ready to do it. So tabling is a actual procedural issue.
I'll second his motion.
So we have a motion from Commissioner, let me make sure. Commissioner Offer, you're making a motion to table this
Table this request.
this request. All right, so we have you understand, Commissioner Mason, that he's asking to table it at the committee level. So we have a motion from Commissioner Offer to table this recommendation or this request. We have a second from Commissioner Collins. All right, any discussion? And I do have one question though, not on this, but I know we can't. When you table something, though, you can't go into discussion. All right, well, we gotta go to vote. All those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Commissioner Mason?
No.
You're a no? Okay. So I'm gonna go with you guys because you can always bring it back. So it's 3 with 1 no and 1 absent, so it passes. So it's been tabled until further notice.
Can I clarify
Please.
something? I think your intentions are you've tabled it. It can always come back. You'd have to have a vote to bring it off the table and then a vote to do it. So it would take 2 votes for it to happen. I'm going to assume you've killed the idea and go ahead with the 2 projects. Is that okay? Is
Well,
that-
this has to go to the full commission
One-
tonight. Well, we tabled it, though. We've never,
I guess you're recommending to table it. So if that's the case, then please pull this off and take it tonight too, because I need direction on what to do with the other projects.
very
If it-
good.
And if
That's-
it passes tonight, like you suggested, then I move forward with the other 2. If it don't pass tonight, I'll leave everything on hold. Is that pretty much what you're all saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's been tabled. All right. That takes care of item A. Item B, as you know, opioid money, we're here in August, beginning of getting our timeline. That's all I really needed to talk about today is the timeline. I think we've had 2 years of opioid money, grant money, and then just a recap, with the opioid money, we pay first and we budget those things that are recurring, Judge Freiberg's drug court, and a number of other things. And then whatever is quote unquote left over after all the quote unquote things have been budgeted. Remember, it's about 200,000, which is I think about what it was in the previous years. We asked those who received money last year to come in and give us an update on how they're doing and how they spent the money, so to speak. And then we start the process of sending out those who are interested in applying for grant money starting in January. So, that gets October, November, or September, October, November, and all that. So one of the recommendations I'd like to put towards the committee is I don't think we necessarily need to have all of them come in and give us an update. I'm always glad to see them, unless they want to. But we do need them to put what they did in writing, and this is for the report for the state. They're keeping track of this opioid money, probably even more stringent than the ARP money, but they have consultants and other kind of titles, people watching that. So we are going to require them to put it what they did in writing, but I don't think we necessarily need to bring them in unless they want to. And if they do, they can schedule the time with Lori. But that's just my recommendation to the committee on finishing up last year's grant money. The second part of this would be in September, come up with the invite to apply for grants. If they do want to apply for grants, and then in October, we will come in, we'll use the finance committee meeting in October, which would be the first Monday of October, to have them come in and chat with them. And then in November, we can vote the grant money in, make a recommendation to the full commission on the allocation, and then be ready to go by the beginning of the year. Because when we get into November, in holidays, it gets crazy, right? That's my recommendation on the timeline on how we deal with opioid. What do you guys think? Commissioner Collins, Commissioner Hopper, Commissioner Mason? I'm getting a nod of agreements from Commissioner Mason.
I like the timeline.
I'm getting a nod from that. I don't think we need a motion on that, but Lori, if you'll jot that down, I'll inform the full commission tonight, because ultimately they have to approve this as well. And that'll get that done. But the big difference, if you want to call it big, is not requiring them to come in and stand before us and spend 5 minutes talking. But we do need their report for the record, so to speak. If they do want to come in, that's fine. And we'll get with Lori to schedule that. All right?
But do, Lori, make sure they send in the written report of how they spent this current year's money, because that has to be part of our
Yeah,
report.
and we'll say that they need to have that in by the end of September. Give them plenty of time.
You can require it December if you want to,
Oh,
as far
okay.
as I'm
I
concerned.
was-
Just make sure they do. That's the key. Yeah, it's pretty much calendar year. You approve, what you're gonna be approving in October or whenever you said will be next calendar year.
Okay, that's
So
fine.
they
And-
need, they could say in December how they have and will spend the entire amount of money. Usually, they're all small amounts of money, so.
Very good. So by the end of the year, they'll have the reports. Yeah.
But we're talking about last year's people.
Yeah, the
And then the people
20
that you approve this year will have to do the same thing next year.
Yeah. And I think they know that's a requirement. I think we
Yeah,
told them. All right. So that's that on the opioid money. Is there anything else that I'm forgetting? Else? All right. Other business, yeah. There's nothing else. We'll go to communication from the audience. We got 2 today. We increased our population by 2, or by 100%. Come on, Ellen. You're a frequent flyer. You're here. Please. Come. Ellen, you do have to come. Ha ha. All right, there's no one from the audience. The next meeting will be September the 2nd, 2025 at 11:30 here in the commission room. If there's nothing further, we are adjourned. Thank you guys so much.